The song that you guys just heard is, by the way, from Hollywood Undead, also a pretty cool band. I really like the music selection of BK. I would love to hear some Australian hip-hop though. Hilltop Hood's definitely my favorite hip-hop band. They are amazing. And to the top right we have my favorite race. We have the Zerg race in the red. It is a Prime player Bumblebee here, losing on the dual side against Heart's mech play, and the Terran starting to the bottom left of Cloud Kingdom in the blue color. Once again, for his team complexity, it is Heart. And that's exactly what he has to show. He has to show some heart here if he wants to take the second game as well. But so far he played quite well. And yeah, Bumblebee, I don't know. The last map actually, it wasn't too bad in the beginning. As I said, it looked a little bit scary because he didn't have the scouting information. And let's face it, if that Overlord wouldn't have gotten into the position where he spotted the two factories, Hart would have taken Bumblebee down with the Hellions alone. There was so many of them, and with the Blue Flame upgrade, even if you have two Queens to block the ramp, there are just too many Blue Flame Hellions. The Queens die. You may lose 2 or 3 of your Hellions to the Spine Crawlers, and then suddenly all the Hellions are in the main base, take down every drone. Bumblebee spotted it, was able to scout it and tried to prepare it for it, but well, he focused a little bit too much on this play with the Mutalisk, and it didn't really pay off. Hart played this very well, and Meg is just really difficult to face, especially on a small map like this where the push distance is so small. So you kind of need a late game composition, and obviously also a switch to Infestors helps a lot with the fungals. You can at least delay your opponent for a bit, can try to fungal the Hellions to death, which sounds a lot easier than it actually is, because, well, the Infestors die pretty fast to Hellions. They die pretty fast to Blue Flame Hellions especially. You have to be very, very, very careful. But if you play correctly, then you can fungal quite a lot of the Hellions, and you can try to stall a little bit of time. At this point, we have now the game on Cloud Kingdom though, which is map number 2. And once again, Hart just trying to hide his barracks a little bit, hide his intentions, and not let his opponent know what exactly he's up to. And we have a double refinery once again. Is he using the same strategy he did on dual side? It's definitely an option. Mech is pretty strong on Cloud Kingdom. You can use a very, very huge mech army in order to dominate the middle of the map and then just push out. Push distance are not too bad. It's going to be interesting to see when exactly Bumblebee is taking his third base. I was a little bit surprised that he was taking it that early in the last game. And well, I actually don't think that we are going to see Mutalisks again. We talked about this in the past. Mutalisks are just not the best choice on Cloud Kingdom. You can play Mutalisks, but it's just so hard to really do a lot of damage because you don't have that space in the main base of the Terran player. What do you have on, well, let's say Antigua, for example. You have a lot of dead space around the bases. There are a lot of other maps as well. Well, Daybreak, for example. You can use Mutalisks on Daybreak depending on the matchup. But on this map, or another cool base that you can where you can use it is, for example, a map that we don't see in the GSL map pool, but is played in a lot of other tournaments. When you just think about Talar Malta, you have all these bases where you can just bounce with the Mutalisks, and on this particular map it's not that easy because you have no dead space in the back of the main base. So suddenly, if your opponent plays it smart, he cuts off your way of retreat. You are forced to fly down to the natural, for example, and if another set of units is waiting over there, just a few Marines with stim or a couple of missile turrets, you just fly right into them. You lose way too many of your Mutalisks, and suddenly you lose your options of attacking your opponent and getting aggressive, which is usually what you try to do with Mutalisks. Just going to go for hit and run attacks, punish him every time he moves out, and when you lose too many of them, that's just not possible anymore. So Mutalisks, something that we don't see all that much. We see a couple of players just relying on Mutalisks. Nesty did it against Alive in IPL, and he was actually really successful with it. In the end, it was Alive taking the series, but Nesty showed some really nice games and a perfect Mutalisk control. But in the end, it's something that is not that common anymore. Usually you will see Infestors, you will see the Infestor play. They are just so much better on Cloud Kingdom. And it's kind of map dependent. Bumblebee now going for the lair tech already, and we have him with gas. He has 4 extractors, while Hart is going for the Banshee play here. Without Cloak, doesn't get Cloak, but a few Banshees, and he's on 2 bases. The Overlord in position. Harvester count is 33 to 44. And obviously Bumblebee just trying to get a lot of drones right now. And a nice wall in as well. Getting a pretty good wall in here with a double Spine Core Evolution Chamber that will enable him to just wall off. 3rd base is being built for Hart now. And I'm interested to see what kind of unit composition Hart is playing. We have him with the Banshee here right now. And one of the things that I really liked that we've seen by Maru is a type of play where you get a Banshee and you get Ravens as well. You get 2 or 3. You have just a couple of air units that you use to roam the map to take down a few of your opponent's creep tumors. Make sure that he is not able to spread his creep anymore. In the early game, you can rely on your Hellions to do the job, but later on it's getting more difficult. So if you have a few Banshees and a Raven, then you can do a lot of damage, can control the map, can control the Xenanaga watchtowers as well. But this is not something that we see all too often. But it was really nice to watch it when Maru was playing against July at the GSL finals. And now we have one of the Banshees just trying to do some damage here at the economy. I'm not quite sure how successful this is going to be. He gets some scouting informations out of this and has 3 kills. We don't have Cloak, which I really like, because I don't think it would have accomplished much here. But 1 Banshee seems just a little bit odd. It just seems a little bit random to get the 1 Banshee in order to defend, especially when you don't have Cloak, or even 1 Queen will be able to defend it. So it's a little bit unusual. Yeah, I don't really know if I like this choice. We'll see. We still have Mutalisks, by the way. You saw the Spire and the Production tab, and now the first few Mutalisks are built. Something that I find a bit weird, but okay, we'll see if Bumblebee can actually match the unit control of Nestea and do damage here. I personally don't like the choice, but, well, he might be able to pull it off, so with nice unit control, let's see if he's able to do some damage. Hart is already getting his first missile turrets. He saw what was happening. We have missile turrets in the main base, in the economy line everywhere, a few Marines scattered around, and also another missile turret at the mineral line at the natural. So in order to repel the Banshee, it's pretty cool. One thing that you can rely on when you use Mutalisk is their ability to shut down drop play. That's something that is used on Cloud Kingdom very, very often, because with a drop play you have a lot of positions where you can drop. The natural expansion is is a good spot. You can just bounce with the medivac between the 3rd base and the 1st base, the main base that is, and use the high and low ground to your advantage. But well, what we just usually see from Zerg players is, for example, Lenok or Lucky, especially Lucky. A few Spine Crawlers and Spore Crawlers. Just Spine Crawlers and Spore Crawlers on the high ground at the main, at the natural, and at the 3rd base, and suddenly you're safe. And as a Zerg player in the later stages of the game, what you usually have is a huge surplus of minerals. So you can just use a few of your drones, get a few Spine and Spore Crawlers, and you're safe against the drop play on this map. So you don't really need to rely on Mutalisks in order to do this. And I'm pretty curious to see how those Mutalisks will work out for Bumblebee, because at this point I don't really think it's gonna go too well, but he might surprise me here. So we have a bit of an attack already by Hart, just poking a bit, but with the scan you already revealed that there's just too much. That's something that he should not be able to contest. Forcing a stim here, but losing 1. Did he lose 2 units? I actually don't know. But he lost some of his units and hit points as well. So Hart is just slowly but steadily getting added in supply. And yeah, using the stim to get away here. Nice split, nice Marine split. But there are a ton of Zerglings just giving chase right now. And he needs to retreat. He doesn't have the units, he just does not have the units. Needs to use another stim again, and here come the reinforcements. Finally the reinforcements for Hart. The army just was not big enough, you had to be really careful here. 3rd base with siege tank support is now in position, +2/+2 being researched for Hart, while we also have Bumblebee with more additional upgrades, and he's going in once again. The siege tanks do some nice damage. There come the reinforcements, and he's not killing a lot. He's actually losing all of his Zerglings, and the Mutalisks trying to snipe a unit or two, but they're not able to do too much damage. But Hart what exactly is Hart doing with his marine control? You know, it's just scattering around units and enabling Bumblebee to pick off another set of marines. So, yeah, bodging this a little bit, probably just macroing it up and didn't pay too much attention to the marines at this point. But Hart is playing this pretty well. He already has the upgrades that he needs. We have a bit of a drop to the top left now. Whoa, picking off a few Mutalisks here. Our observer did not catch this, unfortunately. Also killing an Overlord. Nice. So this drop, even though spotted, did a lot more damage than expected. And now here it is once again. Yeah, he needs to stim. Trying to take down a... Nice. Very well done. Snipes 2 additional Mutalisks. I really have to say that Hart is making the best out of a bad situation here. Taking down the Creep Queen and also Creep Tumors. Wow, a lot of them. And yeah, forcing the creep back, doing a really good job here. And he can rely on a very strong economy. I like the Baneling Trap though. The Baneling Trap that we have, we just had it at the natural, is pretty nice. We have now 66 against 76 Harvesters. And the army moving out. Hart is moving out with his army. And he has 52 Marines already. I really would love to see him go for just 1 or 2 Thors. We talked about this in the past. It's just so much more effective if you have Thors in your army when you are dealing with Mutalisks. But here comes the army for Bumblebee, attacking another set of units. It's just stimming in, but does he really have enough Marines with his army? There's not a lot of units here. There is not a lot of units. He has another set of Marines and tanks at his main base, and a 4th base for Hart being, for Bumblebee being built at the 3rd base, to the right side of the map right now. Jesus, losing track here a little bit. But now an attack at the bottom, siege tank sieging up a little bit too late, picked off by the Mutalisks, and look at those Mutalisks, 20 in total. He really needs a Thor. At the same time though, the attack at the 3rd base, doing a lot more damage, going in there with the Marines as well, taking down a ton of these Zerglings, and the Mutalisks getting into position, trying to snipe the tanks, but there are already a few Marines, Banelings connecting as well, and yeah, Hart really lacking these Thors. That's so weird. That is so weird to watch. Idra was stating in the interview that he thinks the Terran players figured out how to play against Mutalisks, and one of the things that you have to do is adding a Thor or 2 to your army composition, just to make sure that the Mutalisks are not able to pick up too many units. And Hart is a bit struggling here. He's losing a ton of his units, but a nice split. Once again, a decent Marine split. Well, the last few sets he could have done a bit better, but in total, he took down a lot of units from his opponent. Not only Zerglings, but also Banelings. And, well, we still have Hart in a bit of a supply lead, but Bumblebee transitioning into the Greater Spire attack right now, while Hart is just going for attack wave after attack wave after attack wave. Also has a sensor tower at his 3rd base now, which I really like, so that he can spot his opponent's movements a little bit earlier. But don't forget about the Baneling bombs. He might actually be able to... Oh my god. If he's retreating now... No, he's not. But, is he trying to walk up this ramp? If Hart is retreating, if he's losing all these all these Marines to the Banelings, there it is, the Thor. Thank you very, very much. It's about time, and this will make things a lot more difficult for Bumblebee. Beautiful scans going off, by the way. Sniping those Baneling bombs that he had so far. We still have another set of Banelings hit, not only the ones at the 3rd base, but also in the middle of the map. Let's see if he's able to get into a position. There are another 2. Will there be a scan? Oh, guys. Yes, there is. He scans ahead, and the Banelings get picked off. Bumblebee kind of assembling his units here. Don't forget, we have a massive amount of upgrades already for Hart, with 3 attack upgrade and 2 armor. He's looking pretty good here, while we have the Zerglings on 2 attack and 1 armor, and double Thors. I really like it. So finally we have exactly what he needs against the Mutalisks. As soon as they try to snipe the tanks, they will be in trouble. The siege tanks sieging up a little bit too late. The Thors doing a good amount of damage, and also tanking a ton of these Banelings here. And yes, suddenly it's a completely different situation, as you can see. All these Marines survive because the Thors tank the Banelings, and the Mutalisks can't take down all of the tanks. Very nice situation now for Hart to be in. and he can just make sure that he's capitalizing on this. He has too many Marines. He's something that Bumblebee cannot attack into, and this is a lot more difficult for Bumblebee to face right now. Immediately the supply drops, and just this decision to get a few siege tanks is so important. But once again, the reinforcements for Bumblebee, while the Heart is relying on his Marines. And yep, even though the tank dies, suddenly there are so many Marines who are able to face the Mutalisk, and especially with a stim, that's something that you just can't afford. The third base now under a lot of pressure, and Bumblebee might just lose his third here. Nice split with the Marines once again, doing a really good job here, taking down not only Zerglings but also Mutalisks this time, and Bumblebee is dropping farther and farther in supply. More reinforcements streaming in for the Terran player. Complexity Heart with another wave of Marines doing his damage here. The third base under constant pressure, dying finally to the Marine attacks. And now Bumblebee is on 3 bases with a 4th to the right side of the map. Another set of double Thors is being built for Heart here, and this will help him with the final remaining Mutalisks. And suddenly there are only 5 of them left. Just this switch and this adding of Thors to the composition that he had helped him so much of dealing with the army composition. So a very nice decision, very good job here. And yeah, this is gonna go Heart's way now. 180 supply against 130, a huge lead in supply. And also getting a 4 to the left side of the map. But maybe with the Broodlord and Corruptor composition, maybe something that Bumblebee can do in order to get an edge over his opponent. It's not going to be easy, but he might just be able to get back into this game if he gets the perfect composition. He already has a few Infestors, but does he really have the resources to pull off a Broodlord and Corruptor composition? Especially with Heart already preparing for it, getting additional Vikings, getting double Starport now, and the 4th base being attacked as well. This is going to be so difficult. Nice fungal here, catching a lot of Marines. The Broodlord's getting into position. Will the Marines be enough? Is Heart going to fight here? Beautiful split with the Marines, taking down most of the ground units already, and a Broodlord dying as well, stimming in here and killing drones, Infestors, and this is just too much. Bumblebee GG's leaves the game. Heart takes the series with 2-0. Both Zerg players lose. We have Juk2 losing to Ace, and we have Bumblebee losing to Complexity Heart, as Moonblade already put it on Twitter earlier. A lot of Zerg pain here in the first set of games, but we have Boom Boom coming up, and he is up against Gandol, the player that we talked about earlier. Got a little bit lucky in his Code A qualifier group. And yeah, we had the question on Twitter as well. Puck Gremling was asking, hey, where's Atosis? Atosis will be joining me later on for the second set. We will be joining me at 6 p.m. Korean Standard Time, which is 11 a.m. for the Europeans amongst you. I don't really know what exactly that is for the Americans, but I think it's around 4 a.m. I think it's another 7 hours. So yeah, there he is to the bottom right. Gandol. I actually don't even know how to pronounce his name. Would you say GG, Andol, GG? Well, I don't know. I'll just pronounce Gandol if someone of you has some information of how exactly to pronounce his nickname. He's still a little bit the mystery man here. And yeah, between the games, as mentioned before, guys, if you have any questions about the new setup or whatever, about the GSL, you can tweet at me at Kaldor, and I'm happy to answer all of them while we have a little bit of downtime. But actually, I actually think we might head into the next game already. I just got an invite to the lobby. Thought we had a bit of a break here, but I'm happy to start with the next game. The first map is going to be Metropolis. And there are also already the GGs, so looks like we are going for it. Second set of games. Metropolis is the map. Boom Boom against Gandalf against Protoss. Map number 1 coming up right now.